So Og said, we've been here forever today, yes. He said that before, or hinted at it. And, I said the same thing, but forever forever has a counterpart, and that counterpart is the moment that you're in. Forever, the knowledge of whatever forever means is only accessed through memory. But, so staying present and meditating is fine and dandy. But so every time I've gone voyaging and sort of like seen the horror thing, a simple working theory for it would be that all exits to the realm are more horrifying than the realm itself, and harder to navigate than baseline realm reality. And when I, as far as this particular go or whatever, I haven't done it. I haven't had so many tries at it, or intentional ones anyway. But like, the one weed one was enough for me, and I think when you do one try, you access a form of memory of all the other ones. And being that consciousness doesn't like being trapped anywhere, if it's going through something that's trying to be a repetition, it will always look for something new to try. But say drugs, super deep meditation, actual death, as far as death from this plane to supposedly something else, somewhere else, somehow else, rapture, ascension, hopping into a physical craft and trying to leave, like the ones that tried to fly behind Hale Bopp, suicide cults, etc. All religions are suicide cults. Anyway, so it's like, for the most part, when I've explored, it's been like back to the horror of horrors, which is whatever is behind the veil. I don't know that that's necessarily the same anymore. Feels like it's not, but I don't know. I know that like the memories are too much for almost any consciousness to handle. It was pretty much too much for mine, or almost, or very close to the breaking point. And like, there are certain instances where there's nothing to do about something, so you do nothing, or you surrender, or you give up, or whatever it is that you do when there's nothing left to do, which I've also talked about. And Chris Geo, when he had his DMT trip, he described something like the beast or the monster, the gobbledygook thing, the horror of horrors, whatever it is, metal god, consciousness trap thing, evil thing. Yaldabaoth, many names for monsters. He said this thing is like an octopus, and each one of the major religions is one of its arms, and all of the prophets are like feelers on that arm. Like feelers. They're like suction cups on the tentacles. All of them. That's what makes it, that's what makes it a proper horror show, is that there's literally no escape. And of course, when you're in this thing, when you're going through the contortions and saying this can't be so, there's no way, it's impossible, and however you say it, mentally, internally, screaming out loud, anything, doesn't matter, like that's what makes a good horror show, is it's maybe is infinite, seemingly infinite, and no escape whatsoever. So, and remember, this is a thought experiment. I never put forth anything as absolute truth. Certainly not a set of words coming out of my mouth. It's always my perception / memories. So it's a good horror show, and you want to kill yourself when you see it, and that's just what it is. That's I don't know. Oh, that's what I was saying. Back to baseline, right? And everybody that's here, when you're here on baseline, for the most part, people talk about, oh, the afterlife, oh, the wondrous places that I explore when I'm doing LSD, or when I'm dropping acid, or when I'm doing some DMT. Okay, in my understanding, and I got this thing when I did weed that one time, in my understanding, the thing camouflages itself in all of those things, and on the surface those things all look like, oh well, it's recreation, oh well, it's this, oh well, it's that, but in the end you're walking along a plane that has indentations, right? Like indentations, little sucky things, right? You can walk along the plane, avoid them for the most part. That's baseline or waking life. And then the indentation goes whoop, maybe you start being an alcoholic, maybe you take some LSD, maybe you take some DMT, maybe you have a religious experience and find Jesus. All of these, right, would be little indentations that's got some things around the edges, drawing you in somehow. However, it's not even always offering a good prize. Like, often it's a bad prize. But the basic idea would be that all of those things are attached to the same like mouth. It's like, it's just trying to eat everything and everyone that goes into any of the indentations. And they're all disguised as, it doesn't matter what they have to be disguised as, because according to this particular thought experiment, for all of the indentations, even the ones that say like heaven or hell, you're like, well, that's a shit choice. Like, I have to be somewhere for forever. Like, even if it was, angels and clouds and fairy tales and whatnot all day, maybe I don't want to be there forever. Or, burning forever. Like, that duality is one little sinkhole, you know what I'm saying? So, like, all of them would be disguised as kind of good up. But then, since the thing is degrading and it's entropic in nature overall, then eventually the baseline situation is very bad, and then all of the sinkholes are very, very, very much worse. That's how it would eventually degrade. Now, I'm not claiming that this realm, whatever it is like all of existence. I'm very sure it's not. Maybe it's possible for infinite beings that have been exploring vast multiverses, infiniverses for however, who God knows how long, could get trapped in something like this and be in here for eons and eons, and then it's like, fuck, like, we've been here forever, let's do something about it. Maybe that could be some sort of an explanation. I don't know. I just know that every time I've peeked beyond, it was just like pure horror, for reasons that I can't even describe. I can't even explain. It has nothing to do with like this baseline thing. It has to do with consciousness and what's done with your consciousness, or how you turn in on yourself, and you know, like, it's just not, it's not fun. Not necessary either. Like, any loving creation wouldn't allow that to happen forever, or for a lot of time anyway. It's just not fun, you know. Like mental, yeah, like mental self-eating decay type stuff. Yeah, so like, there's a something is different this time, I feel, but we also have memory wipes, so like it's not super easy to tell about that, but yeah. Something is different this time. The air is cleaner.